Welcome to Leicester Fan TV. It's Monday night. My name's Phil. Thanks for joining the show tonight. If you are watching live, you can get your views in, you can get your comments in, and we can talk all things Leicester City. Obviously, we've just beaten Everton in the league, which is fantastic. Reed is going to be joining us very shortly. He was at the game, so we can look back at that a little bit. But more importantly, that it's Newport in the League Cup tomorrow night. So we want to get all your views, all your comments in on that. Who's going to line up for the Foxes? Should we go strong? Should we give players a rest? What do you reckon? We can probably talk a little bit of World Cup as well. Who do you think is going to make that England World Cup squad? Surely Madders, but maybe not. Let me know your views and comments in the next 30 minutes of tonight's Monday Night Fanzone show.
Welcome to Leicester Fan TV. Are you ready for the show? Thanks to our sponsors, ADT Taxis, Everards, Pukka Pies, Pink Car Leasing, Leicester Riders, Hollogram, The Fox's Arms, Peter's Pizzeria, Hope Against Cancer, and Newby Co estate agents. We want your views, we want your comments, so join us live. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Yes, good evening. Wherever you're watching us, don't forget you can follow us at Leicester Fan TV on all the socials. Let's get as many comments in as we can tonight. Good evening, Simon. Hope you're well. How are you doing? Karen, Auntie Karen, nice to see you. Hope you're well. Nick says, I'm still Rodgers out. I haven't forgiven him for slagging the fans off. Listen, Reedy has set this show up for me. He's coming on shortly. He's called this show, are you now Rodgers in, Rodgers out type of stuff and all that, which we can have that debate. Nick's saying, I'm still him out. It's got a lot better, though, recently. Richie says, evening, Phil, get Rodgers out. Is there still this animosity going around that people want Rodgers out? Simon said, someone's cut the cables off your earpods. Yeah, hopefully you can hear me all right, Simon. Having a bit of a tech thing there. Good evening, Adam. Good evening, Matty. Hope you're well. What do you reckon to the games at the moment? Andy says, play a strongish team. They've got 6, was off soon. They got 6, was off soon. I'm not... Andy, you're not making much sense. It's a Monday night, Andy. Don't tell me you've been on the sauce already. Keith, the bringer of doom and gloom, saying, I think Newport will do us. No, come on. We played super well at Everton, I think, in there. Ross was at the match on Saturday with his dad. He says, what a result. Me and my dad were so buzzing. We was there. Our fans were outstanding. It looked really good, Ross, there. The atmosphere was good in there. Terry, hope you're well, Terry. How's everything going? Get your views in on tomorrow night's match. We want to know, well, we can look back at the Everton game. What's your take on Leicester? Obviously, it has been a pretty decent run over the last few weeks, so we want to know your views on that. And then tell us, what would you do for Newport County? Obviously, we've got Newport on Tuesday, then we've got West Ham on Saturday, and then that's it. We've got like pretty much a 5-6 week break. So for me, play 2 strong sides, surely. Go for it in the Cup. But I want to know your views in it. Will's watching. He's saying, great result. Just need another 3 points on Saturday prior to the World Cup. I actually fancy it. I think we could get 3 points over at West Ham. Andy says, are these results down to Rodgers or Knudsen? I meant weeks. Oh, 6. He's got 6. Going back to your comment before. They got 6 was off soon. You mean 6 weeks off? I've got it now, Andy. Thank you. I have got it. No Tint says, only beaten teams we should be beating. Let's not knight him yet. I agree with you to an extent there. I mean, when we beat Leeds, they were poor. When we beat Wolves, they were poor. I think Everton are an all right side, No Tint. I think I've got to be fair with you. I think that was a pretty decent away result at Everton in there. Jim saying he's still Rodgers out in there. Adam says, give a few of the under-23 lads a go, talking about tomorrow night's match. Will, thanks for joining us. Will says, professional performance on Saturday. I thought it was. I thought we were the better side for a lot of it. I thought Everton were all right. But at times, Everton's defending was a bit dodgy. What players stood out for you on Saturday and which didn't? I don't want to be negative. I thought Soumare, I thought we looked better when Mendy was on. Apart from that, you know, I'm the first here to say, I always say to you, you can watch the videos back. Yes, I've completely slagged Gavin Ward off this year and not said he's good enough. I'm still sticking by that, although I thought he has played well recently, and obviously it was another clean sheet. He did everything he had to do on Saturday pretty well. So hopefully he's going to come good for us. He is our number 1 keeper, so hopefully he is going to come for us. Dara says here, good evening. Rodgers paid big money. First 7 games, lesser managers have been sacked. We've stuck with him, can't afford to sack him. Well, maybe That's going to do us good, Dara, because obviously Southampton have sacked Ralph Hasenhusel, Nickel, Flickle, Dickel, can never say his name. They've sacked him today. I don't know, maybe a bit of loyalty from Leicester's come good for us in there in the end. Dave says, I've still not changed my mind, but let's see how it goes, but I'm still Rodgers out. Keith is, we need to park the bus and hold out for a replay. Keith, are you talking about tomorrow? There's no replays unless I'm being thick. It's 90 minutes and then penalties in there. Andrew is Rodgers in. Ross is, we celebrated with a nice Chinese in Liverpool. This is after going to Everton. Ross always gives us a food update, which is lovely to hear. Ross, tell us, what did you have on the bus on the way there? What did you have breakfast the next morning? Anyway, he goes, 50 corners we've had against us and not one goal conceded since Spurs, and that was 7 games ago. Ross, I'm just going to take it that you know your facts there. That was good there. Councillor, good evening, sir. Says, good time set for a good second half of the season. Time to win the League Cup. Absolutely with you on that. League Cup gets you into the Europa Conference League, I think I'm right in saying. Be more than happy with that this season. Absolutely love to get to Wembley again. Patrick says it goes to penalties. Thank you, Patrick. I think so. 90 minutes and straight to penalties, I believe. William says, were they poor because we made them look so poor? They were poor at the back, if you ask me, Will. They were not good at the back with their defending. I thought we looked good, though. Let's be positive. We look good. Andrew says, Danny Ward, number 1. Watch the videos. You can see I've slagged him off. But, yeah, he has done all right recently. Matty says, 3 points against a wobbly West Ham and we'll be in good place for the international break. We said that. We said that Everton and West Ham games were going to make a massive difference to how we viewed this season. And as Smith says, good evening. Stay positive on it all. Paul says, let's see what happens after the World Cup. All depends on how they perform. Rodgers in, out for me. Shake it all about. Play the strongest team on Tuesday. I'm with you, Paul, on that. The councillor says, are we at risk of becoming a one-man team? Maddison is on a different level. Yes, I hear what you're saying, but I think Yuri's been playing really well. Somebody said in one of the chat groups I'm in earlier, said, made Yuri Tielemans the captain, which everybody said, myself included, what a strange decision. But it seems to have done Yuri the power of good. I do slightly fear, are Yuri and Maddison playing that good that they're going to get snapped up in that January transfer window in there? I think that's going to be an interesting one. Patrick says Sumari for his little jiggle when Yuri scored. Terry is saying Dan Amati kept going forward with the ball. Wow, he did well. I think we've all got to admit that, now I've got to say it right here. Wout Fies. Reedy's probably laughing in the background. Reedy's clapping me because I've actually got it right. Wout Fies. There we go. Said it twice on the trot. Has done ever so well. Rodgers will be linked with the Southampton job, says Richie. No, he's not. Apparently, Southampton in for the Luton manager. Forget his name, but a young prospect there. Will saying chuck in the towel against Newport. Need to concentrate on the league. I think we've done enough, Will, in the league the last few games to say, no, we can go for it against Newport tomorrow. Andrew saying trust in top. Listen, let's keep your comments coming in. We want to get as many on screen as possible. I'm going to get Reedy in very, very shortly. Good evening, says Ian the Super Fox. Just need to win the next 2 games before the World Cup break and hope all our players come in fit and we'll be ready for the season commencing on Boxing Day, which is against Newcastle. Looking forward to that. Joanna says, wonder why Maddis didn't get the armband when Yuri came off. Yeah, I didn't really notice that, John. I wonder who it did go to. The Fox's Arms, that's Jamie, who's in Leicester. See him in the match tomorrow night. He'll be there, signing autographs, drinking beers for free if you fancy buying one. Anyway, wow, Fies, thank you. Yes, has a big difference in there. Patrick saying, it's the World Cup coming at a wrong time for us. That is a great thing. I'm going to start that with Reedy. Let's add him in. Here he comes. Reedy. Patrick, good evening to you. Patrick says there, is the World Cup coming at a wrong time for us? Because we have hit some form. What's your take on Patrick's comment?
No, because I think we all agreed in the office as well, saying that if we don't get some points before the World Cup starts, then we could be in danger. And like you say, the last 5 to 6 games, we've got the points back of what we've probably lost over the first start of the season. So for me, as much as we are playing well, I think the performances are there, and I don't think it will stop going into the second part of the season.
Yeah, obviously the run we've had, 3 wins, 1 draw, and 1 defeat in the last 5 in the league, really, which has been decent in there. Richie is saying, Woot Fez. God, I just can't get it right. I'm going to be there like this all season. He's made a massive difference in my books, Reedy. How was he? You were there at the match, face to face. How was he?
I think Sam was right. I think he's kind of like a Sunchu player, but he just needs to be a bit more of a leader in that back line. And I just every time he just always wants to get that first touch on the ball. When the players are attacking him, he wants to be there to try and slide the ball out of play. It just feels like you are going to be protected when any attack comes to the back line because he'll protect the ball and get it out there. So for me, he's insane, and somehow Leicester keep buying these insane centre backs that no one's heard of.
Yeah, the councillor says agree. Faze has been a revelation. How good is our scouting network? World class. It does. Again, he is one of these players, really, who I believe I'm right in saying that he was heavily tipped a couple of years ago to be in the Belgium national side, and a lot of people were raving a lot about him, and then he sort of slipped off the radar a little bit. So again, that scouting network seems to have found somebody of a high standard.
Yeah, like I say, somehow we always seem to find these like brilliant centre backs in some way. As people are saying that Faze is just as good as Fofana, I don't think you could kind of say it this early, but since he's been in, I think his record's been pretty much outstanding. So you can't really fault him at the moment.
Yeah, indeed. There, Matt shares World Cup coming at the wrong time for us, just starting to show some consistency. He's Rodgers in. Jamie saying looking forward to tomorrow night. He's going to be down there tomorrow night. Ross saying I want to win the League Cup. We need to win it before Vardy and Kevin Albrighton retire. He means Mark Albrighton.
That's his middle name.
Oh, is it?
Kevin's middle is Albrighton's middle name, yeah.
I just know him as Mark Albrighton, like most people. I don't know why Ross is referring to that. Mobsy, hi Mobsy, mate. How are you? He says, "Are you still Rodgers outfield?" Do you know what? It's a great question. And Reedy, you set tonight's show up, and you have titled it, "Are we all still Rodgers out?" You set me a right keeper there. Listen, I am back. I am going to be honest. I'm flip flopping back into the Rodgers in, mostly because I think again, if I watch back the videos, I think it took till we were hitting rock bottom for me to be Rodgers out, because I just thought he'd lost the players and the players weren't playing for him. But suddenly they seem like they look happy again, Reedy.
I must admit,
because even you were Rodgers out, Reedy.
I was, but there was only I always said there was only one reason for that, and it was because he was picking the wrong players in the squad. But
yeah,
is it coming true now? Is the players he's picking proving us wrong? Ward in goal, he's been outstanding recently. Likes of Yuri, he wasn't performing at the start of the season.
Yeah, Yuri has been playing very well and scoring some great goals and looking really happy about it.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, and I think a lot of people are saying that the captaincy maybe is giving a bit of a fresh kind of play, I guess. Like I say, he's not been too great, but now he's got a bit more of a control in the midfield. Maybe he feels a bit more happier where he is.
Yeah, I mean, so to answer Mobs's question is, I like to think I've always been Rodgers in. I think there was a point where I did lose the will with him and thought it's just he has to go, but he has. At the moment, I'd be saying let's not get too ahead of ourselves, because a defeat against West Ham on Saturday, and we could still. I'm just looking at the table at the same time. We could still end up going to the World Cup in the bottom 3. So
that's how close this season is. That is how close this season is. This between 6 points between top and bottom.
Yeah, if we were to win Reedy on Saturday and go up to 17 points, we could go up to 11th. Mm-hmm. But if we were to lose and results go against us, we could be in the bottom 3. It is that close. Yeah. Jamie says here 5 CS out of the last 7 games. What's he mean by CS?
Clean sheets.
Clean sheets, thank you. 5 clean sheets out of the last 7 games. Ward is a different keeper now compared to the first game. I'd still, my jury's still out with Ward, because we have played a lot of games where a lot of the saves he's had to make, he should have been making. But I don't want to be harsh on him.
I'm calling them 7th. In my opinion, the first 7 games, not all down to him, but I think there was a lot to do with Evans. I'm just going to say it because he's out the team and we start performing games.
Yeah, and he's getting close to coming back, I think, isn't he? But Will says here, I think the Fofana situation affected the whole team. Again, it probably wasn't great. Jono says, is Yuri playing, or he's saying Yuri is playing for the shop window. Again, I do wonder if that is what's going on in there. I think I've said all along, listen, if Yuri he's having a good league form now. If he goes to the World Cup and plays well for Belgium, he's on the world stage at the World Cup. Score a goal like he did against Everton, Reedy, in the World Cup. You know, he is in the shop window.
I said in the podcast that's going out tomorrow that Yuri, as much as he's out of contract at the end of the season, if he does perform in the World Cup as much as he has done for us recently, we could still get 20 to 30 mil out of him because many clubs will see his potential and think we've got to snap him up now. So you never know.
The councillor says here, don't think the players have down tools. I slightly disagree with you because I felt they did. But he says anyway, Rodgers' stubbornness and crazy subs fueled the Rodgers out brigade. Again, I don't want to be a yo-yo, Reedy, because like we were just saying, if we were to lose here, Will says here we won't go into the bottom 3 because Everton played Bournemouth this weekend. So that would mean we can't end up in the bottom 3, which is a good fact and start. Thanks, Will, for that. Jono says Yuri is playing for a contract. He always hits form when contracts come around. Look at his form when he joined us. We remember that loan spell. Wayne, good evening, says, since Yuri's been made captain, playing out of his skin, top at the moment. Did you think, Reedy, that Yuri was more man of the match than Madders on Saturday, or did you agree with the pundits and everybody that Madders was man of the match?
Madders was man of the match. He got 2 assists. His play on the ball was just ridiculous. Like I say, them turns he made on like so many players on the Everton team, it's just ridiculous. And I think that was probably one of his better games. As much as he didn't score, just how he moved on the ball was just ridiculous. So I'd give it to Maddison. And I saw the reaction of Yuri Tillemans when he got given it. So
I mean, it's interesting that Chris says here Maddison has definitely got to go to the World Cup. He was questioned on that. I watched Match of the Day later on, and he clearly said, "I'd like to go." You know, I am thinking about it. Do you think he's going to get picked, Reedy? I know you've got a side bet in the office with Sam.
Yeah, I think he's got to go, and if not, then I don't know why. There must be a vendetta or something against him if he does not get picked, because he is top of the stats on every single category, other than I think Kane. But obviously, he scores goals, so you can't really compete with that. But everyone else, England's team wise, he's got to be in that squad.
The councillor says Maddison is make or break for us this season. I haven't seen one player dominate the field for us since Kante. I think Maddison is massive for us at the moment. Nick Richie says West Ham away for Leicester City will be a tough game. It will be, although I remember going down there a few years ago and we won. Nick says Madders was man of the match, and I bet you Southgate won't take him. I actually think Southgate will not go to the World Cup. I think he might make a 55-man squad. I don't think Madders will get picked. Jono says Rodgers out wasn't nonsensical. There were many reasons to question Rodgers' decisions and attitude, but signs are that he is turning it around and changing his tune. Craig says Madders definitely for the World Cup. Ross says criminal if Madders doesn't go to the World Cup. Andy says if he doesn't go, it's not because of his form. He literally is saying he wants to go, Reedy.
Well, like I say, if he's not if he doesn't go, then he's not. Then Southgate is just not looking at his form. That is the exact stat. If he's not looking at form, then he's literally just picking players because of what team they play for.
I want everybody's comments and your thoughts, really. I want to move us on now. We've got about 10 minutes left. We've talked about Madders. We talked about Yuri. We talked about Wout Faes.
There we go.
We've talked about Danny Ward. We've talked a little bit about Rodgers. I want to talk about Newport tomorrow night.
Yes.
And then we've got, obviously, West Ham. But Newport tomorrow, Reedy, and I want everybody to put in their comments in there, is I would just like to see us put out their strongest side tomorrow night and absolutely demolish Newport in the first 45 minutes, 50 minutes, and then bring on as many subs as you can. Get the job done with the best starting team, and then move on. How would you play it tomorrow?
I would agree, but I don't think he will. And I've got a team list down on here that I think he'll play, which is probably not
Now,
going to happen.
So this team list, is this who you think Rodgers will pick, or is this who you
Yes,
think he should pick?
this is who I think he will pick.
Go on then, talk us through it.
So goalkeeper Iverson, I think he's of everyone. Even if he do play full side, I think he'll be the one that gets dropped back in for this game.
I don't think many fans would have too much of a problem with Iverson coming in tomorrow. But put in the comments if you would. I'd be quite interested to see him. So
yeah,
carry on then.
Back line, you've got Vestergaard and FaZe at the back. Only reason I put FaZe still in there is because Johnny Evans, I don't know if he'll be fit. If he is, he'll probably get put back in. Sunchu's injured, and Marty, I put right back. And then Thomas, I've got his left back.
Well, you're messing around with it there, Reed.
No, because Marty is actually more of a fullback. He is more of a right back.
But for me, if you're going to play Marty, play him. Keep him. If he's going to play, keep him where he's been playing and doing okay.
Yes, but the way I'm seeing it is, if he's switching things around, I don't think he'll play Castagna or Thomas tomorrow. So I'll put Castagna or JJ tomorrow. So that's why I put Thomas and Marty in.
Okay, so I do agree with what Reed is saying there. So you've gone Wout, FaZe and Vestergaard, and then you've got Daniel Marty at fullback and Luke Thomas. Oh, okay.
Which I could see coming in. And then in midfield, I've put Mendy, Pratt, and Sumari.
Blimey, that's defensive.
I wouldn't say it's defensive. I just don't think we've got any, like, you don't think
Mendy and Diddy and Dennis Pratt is defensive?
No, I put Mendy, Sumari, and Pratt.
God dear, Reedy. He's got to.
We do take players out because we're resting them. We don't have too many players that can be kind of be dropped in. So that's the only reason I picked them three. Perez in the centre forward role and let Maddis have a rest, and then Kelechi, Nacho, and Vardy up front. Two up top.
Yes, you see, I quite disagree with you on a lot of that team, to be fair.
But then, like I say, it's because you want a full team out there. You would.
I do want a full team out, but I think where you're right is I think Dennis Pratt should get some game time and keep him interested. Same with Perez and Inacho. I think all three of those, and Everson, that's four. I think all four of those should get some game time. You could argue Ndidi maybe needs game time for fitness, and that would not cause us a problem at all. I'm not sure I'd start Vardy because I think I just think he needs to be kept at that 20-30 minutes a game at the moment. Although you could argue a few goals for him would do him good. Jamie says here 3 to 4 changes tomorrow. Iverson, Pratt, Sumari, Nacho to come in. Although Jamie, I'd say Sumari is in the starting lineup most games now, so that's why I think I would maybe take him out. Andy says maybe give Albrighton a start. Again, that wouldn't be the worst idea. Adam is agreeing with that. Jordan says, do we really need a cup run this season? Which I think, yes, 100% we do. This is one of those seasons where I'm hoping to goodness, Reedy, we're not in a relegation battle, really. But neither can I really, really see us challenging for that top 4, top 6 either at this rate. You never know, but
I don't know. I always come back to that Forest from last season.
But
they were 7 games.
Cup run makes sense, doesn't it, Reedy?
Yeah. You always want to try and go in the cup, but why not try for both? That's the thing I say. Why not go for both?
Yeah, I agree. Jamie here's changes. Have you ever noticed Jamie gets things a bit wrong, Reedy? Like what time of day it is and Leicester players' names. He probably thinks he's still in Spain. He's actually in Leicester. He's had too many pints down the pub or whatever. Will says, I think Daka will start with Iheanacho and play Albrighton on the right. I think I'm with Will there. That would be where I would be going.
I don't know, because then for me, if you're starting Daka and Iheanacho, then surely you'd be playing Vardy against West Ham. That's where I'm putting Someone like Kel
Yeah.
and Vardy together for this game, and then putting Daka on, who's looks the better player at the moment, up against the West Ham side.
Yeah, I guess I mean, how old's Daka? 23, isn't he?
Yes, I think so.
And I'm just like thinking, yes, for me, a 23-year-old can play against Everton, can play against Newport, and then can go and play against West Ham.
You're probably right. But if we're resting players, that's the case.
Yeah, and I just think with Daka, if he is the future of the club, then he needs to get, consistency, plenty of game time, plenty of Newport should offer him goals, which is what a striker really wants, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
The councillor says here we defo need to win the League Cup. Vardy and Brighton will have the set, which would be, I mean, that would be amazing, wouldn't it, if they were to pull that. Matty says a week ago we're in a relegation battle. Two swallows. You mean, Matty? Don't make a summer. I agree. That's where you've got to keep a lid on it. No Tint says, of course we do. Our owners want Europe. We're not going to get it through the league. So the League Cup is our ticket in there.
You don't get Europe through the Carabao Cup, innit? It's just the FA Cup.
No, I think the League Cup used to get Europa League, but I believe I'm right in saying now if you win the League Cup, you go into the Europa Conference League.
Ah, okay.
I think I'm right in saying that, which again, we were in that last year. I would be, let's not be snobs about this. If we were to get back in next season to the Europa Conference League, I think I'd be more than happy with that. I'm missing it this year, Reedy. Are you missing the European nights?
Yeah, except from that Roma away night in the semi-final.
Will says here, League Cup gets the Conference League. Thank you. That's what I said it did. Stephen is saying maybe start all Brighton at right back, Reedy.
Maybe right wing back, but I don't think we'll ever play a foul at the back against someone like Newport.
Jordan here. Now, listen, Jordan's going to upset Reedy with that comment. Vestergaard shouldn't be anywhere in the team. Go, Reedy.
He should be. Surely, Rodgers brought him in. I think he's not been the worst player in the world. People are just slating him for situations where he's been put in the deep, pretty much put in the deep end, and against sort of teams where we're losing or we're 1-0 up and we concede last minute. It's not all down to him. Yes, he's a bit slow, but he goes into the Denmark team straight away. I don't think he's that bad. And against someone like Newport, I think, why not? Just give him a go.
I don't want to now. Listen, again, we've got a couple of minutes left, so we do want your score predictions in there. Jono doesn't want to see Vestergaard in our team. I've said it before. There's a more than decent player in Yannick Vestergaard. When we signed him, I thought makes sense. He's got Premier League, quality about him and experience. But
again, he plays for the Denmark team most games, and Kasper kind of backed him, saying that when he's in the back line, he feels a lot more solid.
Yeah, indeed. Score predictions for tomorrow night, Reedy. I don't want to take it lightly, but really, 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 with the talent in the Leicester City squad at the moment, if he puts out a 70% full side, and even, well, like I say, you can put people like Ndidi in that team tomorrow to get them fitness. You can put Pratt in there to give him game time. You can put Perez in there. I mean, I'm not being funny. Perez, Ndidi, and Pratt is probably close to a 60, 70, 80 million pounds worth of talent in those three.
Yeah, you're not even someone like Perez as well. Like you said, you probably would play him to get a bit more game time in, and it's not the weaker side, even if you do put the B team out. But again, you should be beating them even with a B team. So if you put 70% of a first team out, you should be winning that game comfortably.
Yeah, Adam going for 3-0, Wayne going for 4-0 to Leicester. Councillors 4-0 minimum, he says. Smigster says 3-0 Leicester. Jordan says Daka needs to be more clinical in front of goal, which is why I'd play him against Newport. I think he needs a bit like that game. Who was it? He scored 4 away last year at, was it Moscow? Yeah. He could do with getting a couple of goals in a game, I think, just to give him that confidence. Because how many has Daka scored this season, Reedy? It's only 3, isn't it?
I wanted to say more like 6 or 7 in it. I didn't know.
You always would like to say that, but it isn't, because you're a massive you're a fanboy of Daka, aren't you? But he's not scored that many goals.
He has got 3.
3. There you go. Thank you. 3. We scored 25 goals this season, something like that in the league, I think. 23 goals. You know, and the striker who's played quite a lot of game times only got 3 in there. So it's been.
But you have said that he has been a bit better. Like, he's been better than Vardy this season.
Oh, I think sadly I think Vardy has not looked at the races this season for whatever reason. But like the councillor says here, I do think Daka snatches the ball too often, needs to keep a cool head, which is why I'd play him against Newport. I'd say, look, there you go. We've got a strong side out. Play Newport. Come on then, Patson. Get out there. Get yourself a goal. Get yourself a couple of goals. Jamie Vardy doesn't need to score any goals against Newport. We all know what he's about. But Daka, I think, for some confidence, could do for it. Terry's saying 5-0 to Leicester in there. Speed, Matt is saying Daka is speed, but end product's poor. Daka only good from 6 yards, says No Tint. And Dorco's going 0-0 to win on penalties.
Oh, no.
Come on then, Reedy. What is your score prediction for tomorrow?
I'm not putting a 4 or 5-0. I'm gonna go for a 2-1.
2-1 to Leicester.
I don't think it's gonna be as clear and today as like a 3 or 4-0 winner. It's gonna be a lot closer than we think. They're gonna be hard to break down. And I still think we'll win, but I still think it's gonna be a lot harder than everyone thinks.
I think it's I don't. I think tomorrow's one of those. I think it's 5-0 to Leicester tomorrow. I really do. I think if we put out a semi-decent side, if we put out that 70-80% first team, like I actually think Rodgers is going to do, I think we'll be 5-0 up, because I think once we get 2 or 3 at home tomorrow against them, I think it's going to be one of those nights where there'll be a hatful. Gareth says 3-1, but a close game in there. Wayne's agreeing, get Daka some game time. Daka should be paired as a winger out there, maybe. And Mick is saying we still need a quality striker. So Reed is saying 2-1 and maybe not an easy game. I'm going the other way and saying I think it's going to be 5-0 and we'll roll these over.
Did we all think that against Stockport
though? To an extent, but we were in a real pickle there. I think the confidence is there. Confidence is so big in football, and honestly, it wasn't just on the pitch, Leicester, on Saturday. It was when the game was finished, and it's some of those post-match videos. If you get a chance, go and watch some of those again if you've not seen them, with people like Maddison and Yuri, because there's banter and they're having a good time, and that is in football. That's what it's about, because they're all paid silly money, but if they're all fighting for each other and you've got that team spirit, then it makes a massive difference. And Ross, yeah, I know we lost to Newport in the FA Cup. We all know what happened that day. That was under Claude Puel. That was right near the end of his reign. He put in Matty James, who hadn't played for like 18 months for a game. I
did put a big Facebook comment in on that day when I was there, and I said that the team that we did put out was still capable of winning that game.
It should have been, but he did pick players, and you thought, "What are you doing? You're setting us up for a fall." Which again is why I say treat Newport with respect. Put out the best team. Go 2 or 3 up, and take 4 or 5 players. I don't know how many subs you can even make in the League Cup now, but take them all off. Honestly, that's my take on it. Reedy, thanks so much for joining us. We'll see you soon.
Yep, see you for the Friday night show.
Yeah, Reedy is live on Friday at 7:30. Previewing the West Ham game that is on Saturday, that of course you're going to. So thanks, Reedy.
No worries, in a bit.
No, enjoy that. Enjoy your date this week. See you, mate. I sold him a kipper there. I'll see you later. Listen, everybody, thanks so much for your views. Please like and share and subscribe to Leicester Fan TV wherever you're watching. It's Newport County in the league tomorrow. I'm still laughing because I can see Reedy. I'll see you later. See you at the match. Cheers all.
Thanks for watching Leicester Fan TV. Thanks to our sponsors, ADT Taxis, Everards, Pukka Pies, Pink Car Leasing, Leicester Riders, Hollogram, The Fox's Arms, Peter's Pizzeria, Hope Against Cancer, and Newby Co estate agents. Make sure to follow us on all of our social channels at Leicester Fan TV. Visit our website, leicesterfantv.com.
I always forget to do this bit, so I'm coming back. I know there's half the people have left now, but listen, if you're out and about, the World Cup is coming to Leicester. It is going to be at the Morningside Arena. So there are 3 games there on the 21st, 25th, 29th. It's 10 quid a ticket, but that gets you a free beer as well. It's all indoors, massive giant screens down there. So we'll be down there. So come and join us on Monday the 21st, England against Iran. Then you've got the USA game. Then you've got the Wales game. Like I say, 10 quid gets you in, gets you your first beer as well. So if you can, get down there and we'll see you soon. Cheers all.